What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new league racing video on the channel. Once again, we're back for EML F1, this time for the Italian Grand Prix, round number 8, I think this is. I think that's right. I don't know, I'm probably wrong, but anyway. Yeah, so welcome to the Italian Grand Prix, round number 8 of the championship. Now, before we get into qualifying in the race and everything else that follows, I just want to say a big thank you for all the support over the last 2-3 days. I think over one night, 2-3 nights ago, I actually gained 7 subscribers overnight. So yeah, just massive thank you to all of you. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I just can't thank everybody enough. So, you know, yeah, like I said, just big thank you to everyone for subscribing, and even just for tuning in. Even if you're not subscribed, that, you know, wouldn't hurt to give that sub button a little click, wouldn't it? But anyway, so yeah, here we are then for qualifying. Now, the championship picture, as far as I'm aware, because this race was, I think, 2 weeks ago, so my memory is a tad bit fuzzy, but I think at the moment it's a 20 or 30 point lead or something we have at the moment over Harry. So yeah, at the moment things aren't looking too bad for us, but obviously we've still got this round and Singapore and Brazil to go, so it's still all to play for. So anyway, on to our first run of qualifying now, and as you can see, off to a ripping start. We only make it to the second chicane before we invalidate, so that's a great start. And well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this qualifying was probably as bad, if not worse, than the one back at Austria. I just could not hook up a lap. I just couldn't get into my rhythm. I'd been doing some really quick laps the night before, but I don't know where the pace went, if I was doing something differently, because the setup was the exact same. So I think I was doing something differently, or, you know, you also can't ignore the fact that this is 5 in the bloody morning, so I was probably not as focused and awake and alert as I probably was the night before this race. But yeah, that still doesn't take away from the fact that my qualifying performance here was absolutely atrocious. I mean, as you can see at the moment, we're 2 tenths down as we come through the end of the middle sector. We gain a lot of time back, obviously, because I did invalidate. So, you know, obviously you turn the engine down and you just finish off the lap. So, yeah, anyway, through the final corner now. Looks like we're going to improve by not quite 1.5 seconds. And as we cross the line, that is going to take us to the front row, P2 at the moment, alongside our championship rival Harry Banks. So that's interesting, isn't it? But anyway, that was it for about 5-6 minutes. I decided to try and wait right to the end of the session to go again, and here we are. So Timon has actually gotten up into P2 as well in the second Mercedes. Short story there, Venom basically quit, so Timon's in his place now. So to the second chicane, we're up by 200ths. We flick it in, but it was a little too late on the entry to the first turn in. That hindered our line through the second part, and unfortunately we have cocked it up, invalidated. And well, I did say that qualifying was bad, and well, maybe that actually wasn't a strong enough way of describing it. That was absolutely atrocious. Oh my god, an A-team won. Oh dear lord, that's shocking. Yeah, apologies for that dismal performance there, but still, we're on the second row, a Renault front row lockout followed by a Mercedes second row, so not too bad. Hopefully we can stay with those Renaults, as those two are basically who we're fighting in the Drivers' Championship now, so it's going to be pivotal for our championship to at least stay with them. But obviously if we could beat them, then that just makes my job an awful lot easier for these final 2 rounds coming up in the near future. So anyway, on to the race, or well, not quite, we're on the grid, but anyway, looking at the strategy, it's fairly straightforward around here. It's a soft medium, unless you've either got shocking tyre wear or there's a early, late safety car or something, which admittedly doesn't happen all that often, but you know, it's still possible, so we'll keep our eyes open and see if any strategy choices appear. But anyway, wait for the formation lap now, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, at this point I was a little bit concerned actually, because after that qualifying performance I really didn't know what my race car was going to be like. I didn't know if the race car was actually going to be any good and I was going to be able to try and find my rhythm a little bit, or whether I was going to be just as bad as I was in qualifying and probably do a Kyle Busch from Homestead and just be in the way of everybody. So hopefully the latter does not happen, but anyway, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how we go, shall we? So looks like we're all back on the grid. Yes, we are ready to roll here for round number 8 of EML F1. 5 red lights, and away we go. Looks like a pretty average start, it must be said. Actually, the start wasn't that bad, but you know, the others around us got an even better one. Simon looking around the outside of Young Power. Young Power thinks about going down the inside of Harry, 3 wide into the first chicane. Yeah, that'll end brilliantly. Anyway, they sorted it out between themselves, and it looks like the top 3 are going to maintain position for the moment. We're going to hang on to P4 despite a challenge from Creaser in the racing point. Simon looking at Young Power there, but no way through for our teammate. We go a bit deep into the second chicane there. Young Power squarely on the exit as well, and at this point I was still trying to drive, you know, aggressively, but I was still very nervous because I wasn't sure, you know, how the car was going to behave. So I mean, definitely probably could have been a bit more aggressive there at the start, maybe trying to make something happen, but also it's the first lap of the race, you know, and there's no need to be a hero in the first 10 seconds of the race, because as the old saying goes, you can't win the race at turn 1, but you can sure as hell lose it. So yeah, that's something which I'm trying to, you know, keep in mind a bit more often when I race, as I think that has probably cost me a few good results when I've tried to make moves when I really haven't needed to. But speaking of making a move, that's what we're going to try and do right here on Simon into the first turn. Are we going to be loading up on the brakes? No, not quite. Young Power though, way too late on the brakes, and that allows Simon to get right up under the rear wing of the Renault. And meanwhile, while all that is going on, it's just allowing Harry to have quite a bit of clear air and not really have to worry about an attack from behind. Now at this point, I'm not sure what the situation is with the 3 in front, but for me, I was just saving ERS. I was burning through fuel, yes, admittedly, probably a little bit more than what I wanted, but ERS was the main thing for me. And we've got about, well, we've nearly got a full 100% bar of it, so we're going to try and use it to our advantage against Simon, who got a really bad run out of the first chicane after getting held up by Young Power, who once again overcooked the first turn. So struggling at the moment, it looks like, on the brakes is Young Power. We're going to have a look now at our teammate once again at the start of lap 5. We switch from the left to the right hand side, trying to see if we could get by. Unfortunately, no way through. Now at this point, I will admit I was getting quite annoyed, as now we're going to go side by side through Curve of Grande here, the 2 Mercedes, and it looks like Simon is just going to hang on to P3. Now, as I was saying there a moment ago, at this point I was getting really annoyed because obviously, as you guys know, I'm fighting the 2 Renaults in the championship, and Simon is, well, this is his first race, so at this point I was kind of hoping, as he gets a bit of a bad run out of the second chicane there, and we actually run into the back of him, luckily no damage, so another close call between the 2 Silver Arrows there. But yeah, as I was saying, at this point I was really hoping, or kind of wanting him to get out of the way a little bit, because, you know, as I was saying, I'm trying to stick with the Renaults to give myself the best chance of winning this championship. and onto the start of lap number 8. I think Fireman, either through having no ARS or maybe realising what I've wanted him to do all race, has let us go on the front straight. So that puts us up into P3. Now straight onto the back of Young Power, who once again makes an almighty cock-up of the first 2 corners there. He's really struggling on the brakes. I'm not too sure what's going on, but that Renault definitely not looking too friendly at the moment. So we're going to try and take advantage as soon as we can. Simon picks up a 3-second penalty behind us there, so that's going to be something to watch out for later on in the race. But on to the end of lap 8, Harry peels into the pits, and crucially, we are going to stay out. Young Power has to stay out as well, as otherwise that would have been a double stack, and that would have just ruined Young Power's afternoon. So we, for the first time today, take the lead here at Monza. Took me a bit longer than what I wanted, not going to lie, but, you know, we're here at long last. So, yeah, run as hard a lap as I possibly could. The rear tyres were the big problem. The back of the car was just so bloody unstable, but I was still able to put a semi-decent lap together. I almost actually broke the 1 second window to Young Power as well. So I should come out ahead of the Renault in theory right here, and I am going to. A little bit of congestion in the pit lane there. We got held up by, I think that was a Williams, I could be wrong. But anyway, leaving the pit lane now. There goes Harry. So he is going to have roughly a 2.5 second lead over us. But crucially, we are out well and truly ahead of Young Power and Creaser as well. So the Racing Point, once again, doing very well for himself. This has been a common trend since about, was it Canada or Austria? No, Baku. No, Azerbaijan. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Creaser's been doing very well since Azerbaijan, and once again showing that pace here today. He does have a 3-second time penalty though, so that won't do him any favours when the checkered flag falls at the end of this thing. But on it to lap number 12, and at the moment things have kind of settled down a little bit. I was able to keep the gap at about 1.5, 1.6 to the 2 behind, but I wasn't quite able to get within the 1 second window of Harry, and unfortunately just as we were about to on lap 13 there, we completely bottled the second chicane, and that has gifted Harry, well, it's basically let him stay outside of the 1 second window, as I was confident I was going to get DRS on this back straight. Unfortunately that hasn't happened, and now as we start lap 14, the safety car has come out. Now I'm not really sure what this is for. I think there's been a crash at Ascari, I want to say, looking at the track map. I think I did just see a car disappear. I think it was one of the Haas's, I could be wrong. But yeah, anyway, so at this point I was tempted to pit, not going to lie, but I knew that no one else was probably going to, so it was a risk that I didn't want to take. I didn't want to lose track position, so, you know, I decided to stay out. Thankfully it looks like everybody else has chosen to do the same as well, so Harry stays out, so did Young Power, Creaser and Thyman as well. All three, crucially behind me, have time penalties, so at the moment it looks like it is going to be a 1v1 between myself and Harry. And at this point, as the safety car is actually coming in, that is a very late call from race control there. Bert Mylander probably a bit surprised himself as he zooms off to the pit lane entrance. Now, as you can see, this was a bit cheeky here. Young Power actually laying back a little bit and gets alongside us. Now, he's going to be fully alongside us here. As you can see, I'm trying to crowd him to the inside, but there's not much I can do. He is there. So Harry played that restart beautifully. We've been caught out a little bit. I'm still on cold tyres as well. We do just about hold Young Power off, but on cold tyres on the exit, we get all squirrely, no traction, and the Renault gets back past. That is not what we needed, considering we're trying to fight Harry at the moment. We're going to try and dive back down the inside, are we? No, not quite. That would have been way too risky. But Young Power, bad run through the second chicane, and we're back up the inside. This is a ding-dong battle between ourselves and the Renault driver there. Sorry, I got my words muddled up. But we have gotten back into P2 crucially. But what that has done, unfortunately, is once again let Harry get away Now at this point, I was actually thinking that Young Power was trying to play some team games here, trying to hold me up to give Harry the best chance possible at winning the race. Now, whether that was true or not, I've got my suspicions on one hand, but on the other hand as well, I can understand why Young Power was, trying to do what he did, because Renault's also got the constructors up for grabs. So, it's still all to play for between both Renaults and myself. So, it is what it is really. But anyway, through Ascari on lap number 20 now. Crucially, we have managed to get within the 1 second window of our old buddy Mr. Harry through the final corner now at the end of lap 21. Now, I'll be brutally honest with you guys, I didn't actually want to try and get past him for another 2-3 laps, but Young Power was looking really menacing, so I was kind of forced into a position where I had to try and make a move. So that's what we're going to do. Round the outside into the first corner, turns to the inside for turn number 2, and we get the move done on our Be Honest teammate there in Harry B. So that is up into the lead once again here at Monza. Now, I knew it wasn't over because we don't have a lot of ERS, and at this point I knew Harry did. So he tries to come back at us on lap 24, side by side, nearly 3 wide as a matter of fact with Young Power. You can see him there in the mirrors, he's all over us. So this could be almost 3 wide through Curva Grande. Harry on our right, Young Power all over us, pushing us through Curva Grande. That's not going to work. Into the second chicane, we brake as late as we dare, and luckily all 3 of us get through there. Oh my god, that does not work. You are not supposed to push an F1 car through that fast kink, but luckily we got away with it. And well, that really was a hold your breath moment, wasn't it? But yeah, as I said, we got away with it, so all good. We carry on, and we carry on to the final lap of the race now. I'm running quite low on ERS once again, so Harry is going to have probably one last chance, to be honest, to try and get by here. He's going to have to go for it down here at turn 1. You can see him coming in the mirror. He has DRS, but he isn't quite close enough, but crucially trying to make sure he couldn't go for the move. I actually go too deep, and now that is going to allow Harry to have a run at us through Curva Grande for the 27th and final time. We defend to the inside. This could be a pivotal moment in this Drivers' Championship. He looks around the outside, no way through into the second chicane there, and we just about hang on to the lead. But crucially, Harry has not gotten a good run out of that second chicane. You can see the gap, it's at half a second, and I don't think he'll be close enough to do anything down here into Ascari. Nearly 6 tenths now as we exit the second Lesmo, so I think we might just be safe here. Young Power still there in P3, but it looks like Benny in the McLaren is actually trying to make a move. So the McLaren doing quite well at the end of this race on those soft tyres. He does have a penalty, mind you, so that might bump him down the order in a few moments' time. But as we come around Parabica now for the final time, a great little fight there with Harry, but we are going to come out on top here and win the Italian Grand Prix. Grazie ragazzi, get in, yes! Alright, so there we go guys, that's been today's video. EML F1 from Italy, round number 8 of Championship. Now, there's something I do need to address real quick. I did say at the start of this video that Singapore and Brazil are next up. Well, as a matter of fact, they're not, because just before Singapore was actually supposed to happen, the season effectively got scrapped because of poor attendance. So we are officially the Drivers' Champion here for EML F1. So bloody stoked about that. Hope you guys have enjoyed this season. A lot of ups and downs, but it's been bloody good fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. All that good stuff. And until the next video, whatever that may be, hope you're all well, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.